this is Sophie from Soflo Academy. This is Unit 1, Lesson 1 on how to prepare paper and like what you need for origami. So whenever I refer to origami, at least for me, I'm not talking about modular, so I think I mentioned that in the beginning. So it's just going to be like one square sheet of paper, and you really need to be square. So there's going to be one model I have a pentagon, but you still need a square piece of paper to make it a pentagon, you know? So I will always start with a square piece of paper. Now, the square can vary. You can vary, and mainly any square works. So that means sticky notes work. You know, you just gotta rub off the sticky part. Just and it doesn't even have to be that much off. You can make your own square piece of paper. Just like with the disclaimer that when you do get into the harder units of the course, you do need like actual origami paper, but that I can talk about later. For now, I'm gonna go teach you how to prepare origami paper because that is like an origami skill in itself, I think. And it's a good way to kickstart the course. So, all right, this is a piece of, okay, I kind of folded already, but we're gonna, but it's point. So I'm gonna go take this paper, and I need to get rid of these holes. So I'm gonna go fold along this line that has the red line. And whenever we're folding, I already fold this, but like I'm just gonna make a point that you want to make sure that you have a lot of reference lines, right? So in your head, you're thinking, okay, though. This line must line up with this line, and this line must line up with this line. And then it has to be like straight, right? And you want it to be along that red line. So I'm just gonna fold it again. And once it's sharp, it has to be sharp by the way, you can start tearing it. And it will come right off like that. And then you want to make a square, right? So in this case, I'm just gonna show you that again. You have to fold it diagonally, basically. So this edge meets that edge, and then you're like thinking, okay, so that corner must be very sharp. So the corner is sharp first, and then we align this point with the other edge. We're gonna line that up and fold with your nail, by the way. I forgot to emphasize, but you need to have you don't even have to have nails. I don't have nails. You can just fold with the nail so it like makes a little noise on the table. Now I'm gonna go fold this in to the crease. So I know I went very fast in the last tearing. So in this, when you tear it now, you have to take your nail and do it once here. So I aligned. Did you see? I actually aligned in my head. Like here's the point here, here's the point there, and then I crease, right? You always want to think before you crease, you know. Then you're gonna go take that out, and we're gonna fold the other way. Crease again. And to tear the paper, you just make you first start ripping here, and then you go all the way. You always want to keep your fingers very close to the thing, so that way it can tear nicely. And I think that's like a very good example of origami, because in origami you gotta be patient. You'll get faster as you go, but for now you gotta be patient. You gotta like reference your lines, and that makes a very, very clean sheet of paper for you to use.